Here's your news for October 10th, 2019. We're starting with some more news about the main event of Hell in a Cell, as fans continue to be mad at the ending between Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins. Though fans were mad that the match ended on a referee stoppage, AEW Vice President Cody Rhodes recently claimed that the match was ended because somebody was concussed. According to reports, both Wyatt and Sasha Banks were not cleared to compete after the show, and while we know the Boss suffered a back injury, the Fiend's injury remains unclear. Whatever Wyatt's injury was, he was well enough to appear in a post-Raw segment attacking Cesaro, and though he may not wrestle for some time, Wyatt's character and the Firefly Funhouse means fans can still see plenty of the Fiend without him getting physical. After the main event, Hell in a Cell 2019 is already being considered one of the most disappointing pay-per-views of all time, and now Rod Zapata has made his voice heard. Zapata, who was the ref who stopped the main event, appeared on WWE's The Bump to explain his actions, saying, "With Bray motionless and Seth clearly doing whatever it was going to take to win that match, I had to think of the competitor's safety, and at that moment, I did what I thought was best." It's a nice sentiment from Zapata, though that didn't stop fans demanding refunds and chanting AEW to close out last Sunday's show. Hopefully WWE will be able to rebound after this finish, and while fans are speculating why Wyatt didn't become Universal Champion, the upcoming WWE draft may be a factor if he's moved to SmackDown. As for Wyatt's opponent Seth Rollins, the Beast Slayer may still be Universal Champion, but has quickly become one of the most polarizing figures in WWE, both in the ring and on social media. One man who knows all about being polarizing is Roman Reigns, who recently spoke to Sports Illustrated, who said that there was a lot to being the face of WWE and that his Shield brother is legit. There's a lot to being the face of WWE. It's not only about being in the ring, it's about how you represent, and that is a 24/7, 365 job. You've got to be on all the time for 52 weeks a year. But I'm telling you now, my brother is legit. I was so proud of him and what he did at SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar. He obviously had one of those weeks where the Twitter machine and the internet went nuts on him, but he bounced back and answered the call. Is he passionate? God, yes. Is he blunt? Of course. That's why I love him. He doesn't sugarcoat, he's very honest, and he is passionate, and he was born for professional wrestling. Seth loves the WWE. That's why some people misread some of the things he says or the way he delivers it, but he does mean well. He's a workhorse. Yeah, he's a little live at the mouth sometimes, but he's got a heart of gold, trust me. Whether he's on Raw or SmackDown, the WWE is in good hands with him as champion. That live-at-the-mouth attitude Roman's referring to may be referencing Rollins' Twitter spats with both Sasha Banks and Will Ospreay, as well as battling fans online who want to know WWE on social media. Hopefully, Rollins will be able to cool off and once again win the fans over, or he could risk becoming as loathed as the Big Dog was back in 2015. It's clear that the Shield brothers still have each other's backs no matter what, but arguably the most impactful group of all time in wrestling is the Clique. A group who often use their influence to sway backstage decisions, the Clique consisted of Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac, though the group was allegedly supposed to be much different. During a recent Inside the Ropes Q&A in Belfast, Bret Hart claimed he was once offered to be the leader of the group, though this was quickly shot down by several Clique members. Kevin Nash said it was news to him, while Scott Hall just tweeted "wrong" as a response, and Sean Waltman said that a conversation did happen between himself, Hall, and Bret, but one that Nash didn't know about. In response, the former Diesel said that Bret had told him that the infamous Montreal Screwjob was a work, and X-Pac responded that he heard that from Vince. This isn't the only major statement made by the Hitman recently, as he claimed that Bill Goldberg shouldn't be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Though Goldberg has had success in both WWE and WCW, Bret said how the career-ending injury he suffered at the hands of Goldberg at Starrcade '99 should have disqualified him from receiving the accolade. Despite what Bret believes, it doesn't look like Goldberg is getting kicked out of the elite group anytime soon, and nothing short of a massive scandal like Hulk Hogan in 2015 will see him get ejected. From two Hall of Famers to a man guaranteed to join them one day, as The Rock took time out of his busy schedule this way to praise the new NWA Power Show. The show, which premiered earlier this week, features Jim Cornette as an announcer, and after a stellar performance, the Brahma Bull sent out a congratulatory tweet to Cornette for giving the show a vintage feel. Despite his major success in Hollywood, The Rock hasn't forgotten his wrestling background, and referencing NWA Power to the millions and millions of his followers will definitely be good for the new show. Back to WWE now, and Luke Harper has certainly got fans talking in a very unique way. On Twitter, Harper changed his bio for the site and claimed that WWE threatened to fine him but said that the company was cool with NXT stars cussing on Twitter. A huge accusation by the former Intercontinental Champion, this is only the latest story of Harper being unhappy, as just last month he complained about never receiving merch, and earlier this year tried to leave the company but was denied. The current belief is that Harper is yet to sign a new contract, and although he's currently teaming with Eric Rowan, only time will tell how long this partnership lasts. Over to NXT now, and this week's episode on the USA Network saw a new Cruiserweight Champion be crowned. In the show's opening match, Lio Rush captured the title from Drew Gulak, getting the pinfall after a frog splash, springboard stunner, and second frog splash combo. There was a post-match angle where NXT GM William Regal tried to award the title to the Man of the Hour, only to be blocked by Gulak, who handed the title over himself, shaking Rush's hand and indicating a face turn. Rush returned to TV after months away on the September 18th edition of NXT and became the #1 contender by defeating Oney Lorcan. That's not the only major change to happen for the purple title, as the gold is now known as the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, so fans should expect to see more 205 Live competitors on NXT in the coming months. Now, WWE is known for its dramatic storylines, but in the case of Corey Graves, his drama didn't take place on screen. Currently in a relationship with Carmella, their relationship got off to a rocky start when Graves' ex-wife aired all their dirty laundry, and though it would be later revealed that Graves and his wife had been separated for months, that didn't stop Carmella from receiving a lot of heat. During the latest episode of Total Divas, the controversy was the main focus of the show, and Carmella revealed just how bad things had gotten to the commentator, saying, "Why the f would she go on social media and put that out there? I'm not kidding, this is not okay. I'm not okay right now. Literally, I'm getting death threats." No superstar should be receiving death threats by fans, and this was clearly an overreaction in a lot of ways, so we like to hope that the negativity has now become a thing of the past. We're looking at AEW next, and while the new promotion and WWE has said that there isn't a war, Vince McMahon didn't seem to get the memo. Fans may recall that at the first Dynamite show, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes of Jay and Silent Bob fame appeared to promote the show and their new film, but this had some serious ramifications down the line. Speaking on the Rich Eisen show for Bleacher Report, Smith said that the duo was also supposed to appear on last week's premiere of SmackDown on Fox, but this was cancelled after they were spotted on AEW programming. "We were supposed to go do WWE, me and Jay, on Friday for SmackDown. That morning after Dynamite, we were told that WWE was like, 'You can't come on anymore,' and they cancelled us." Despite the majority of WWE's roster hoping AEW is a success, it seems like Vince McMahon is still treating this as a war, much like the one he fought with WCW all those years ago. And finally, we're looking at the second episode of AEW Dynamite, which had a lot to live up to after last week's premiere. Flanked by his new entourage, AEW World Champion Chris Jericho addressed the crowd in Boston and recapped last week's main event, which saw him and 4 heels demolish the Faces. Referring to the group as the Inner Circle, Jericho spoke highly of all his cohorts, saying that Sammy Guevara is a sexy heartthrob who is on his list. Moving on to Santana and Ortiz, the champ said that he personally recruited them to AEW and that he appreciates their back-alley brutish behavior, which is why they made his list. Finishing with Jake Hager, who made his AEW debut last week, the appearance of the former Jack Swagger got a big "We the People" chant from the crowd, much to the dismay of Y2J. Telling fans that "We the People" was a bad idea from a bad creative team, Jericho focused on Hager's undefeated record in Bellator, an obvious reason why he was recruited to the Inner Circle. While Jericho may be even smugger than usual, he'll have his work cut out for him next week when he takes on Darby Allin in what will be the champ's first title defense since winning the gold at All Out in August, where he defeated Hangman Page. Allin defeated Jimmy Havoc to earn a shot at the gold, and despite Jericho being currently scheduled to face Cody Rhodes on November 9th at Full Gear, the card could change if Allin shocks the world and becomes the new AEW champion next week. In the main event of the show, Jericho teamed with Guevara to defeat Hangman Page and Dustin Rhodes in a clear message to Allin, but it was the 26-year-old star who had the last laugh. After the Inner Circle attacked Page and Rhodes post-match, several stars tried to stop them, including Dustin's brother Cody as well as MJF. When the Young Bucks got involved, however, Jericho tried to escape, only to be stopped by Allin, who rode in on a skateboard, which he used to lay out the AEW World Champion. Ending the show with Allin, the Rhodes brothers, the Bucks, and Page standing tall, it seems as though Allin has found a group to neutralize the Inner Circle, so expect big things from next week's title match. Although this week's Dynamite was Inner Circle heavy, there was plenty more to the show, as Jon Moxley defeated Shawn Spears in a battle of the recent WWE releases. A match that saw Spears' manager Tully Blanchard get involved, the legend did get some digs in on Moxley, throwing him into the steps, but even that didn't stop the former WWE champion from hitting the Death Rider for the pin. Post-match, Kenny Omega appeared with a barbed wire sweeping brush that he encouraged Moxley to use, but he was quickly dealt with by Pac, who had been on commentary. Leaving the desk, Pac would blindside Omega with a chair, and after Moxley refused to use the weapon, the cleaner was left down as the duo walked to the back. This week's show also saw women's division action, as the new AEW Women's Champion Riho continued her winning ways. After capturing the vacant title in a match with Nyla Rose last week, Riho teamed with Britt Baker to take on Bea Priestley and Emi Sakura. With Baker getting the submission over Sakura with the mandible claw, AEW has continued to protect its women's champion, who now currently boasts a 5-1 record in the company. If last week's episode of Dynamite was the big premiere of AEW on TNT, this week's episode really felt like the show finding its brand, and given the quality of the matches and the angles, fans should expect another fantastic show next week when the AEW World Championship will be on the line.